Um, so for me, I kind of look at Daniel now as someone who had something placed in him beforehand. He was who he was beforehand. He prayed 3 times a day before the decree was signed. He prayed 3 times after. So for me, that sort of resonates as like with when I was growing up and everything. I was someone who was an introvert. I wanted to be to myself. I didn't want to go out to the parties and go hang out with all the people, do all this stuff. I questioned it a lot when I was younger. I would look at it and say, why am I like this? Why am I not like the rest of the kids my age? It's sort of weird. And I think even more so, it was, why am I not even interested in being like that? And I realized at that time that it was it was actually something that sort of kept me out of trouble a lot of times. I didn't go to the places that I could have, didn't do the things that I could have done. And with that being the case, it ended up being a bit of a helpful tool that I thought that I was making and creating and cultivating. And then, of course, when the pressures came, I go down to Coastal, I'm at these places and I'm thinking to myself, okay, all these external pressures, the pressures of just being young, hey, listen, dude, you're a football player, you young, YOLO, do all this stuff, you got all this stuff going on for you, and then you got generational curses, things like that. You got, alcoholism, smoking, and being a womanizer, all this stuff, all these opportunities out there for me to do these things. And I didn't, because I just did like Daniel did. Daniel was who he was. He stuck to his guns. This was the playbook that he had in place, and that's what he went with even after the pressures came. And that's what I did. I stuck to who I was. I was an introvert, wanted to stay in, didn't want to go out, didn't want to go do those things, and I just stayed true to who I was and just kept doing that. With that happening, of course, I still had my time. I did bad things, not to say that I never did anything. I did, but it was something in me, a guiding principle, to just stick to my guns, just stick to who I was. And by me doing that, it, like I said, kept me out of trouble a lot of times. After that time, I realized the game-changing moment for me, I would say, was when I realized it wasn't me who put that there. It wasn't me who created that. It wasn't me who did anything. It was something that was placed in me before I would even set foot on the earth. It was something that God placed in me to be able to break a curse, to be able to, stop those curses dead in their tracks, and it wouldn't go past me. It was something that, to help me break the defense or be a game changer. So for me, I truly believe that, of course, I'm still young, not 30 yet. I still got a lot of life left to live. I realize now that I can't just focus on what's going on with me. I focus on sometimes the things that go on around me. Like the story with Daniel, he was tossed in the lion's den, and I would usually for me, I would tend to look at Daniel like, what did God do for Daniel? What did he do to Daniel? And in that scripture that you referenced, he doesn't do anything to Daniel. It was what he did to the things around Daniel because of what was in him. So now when those things come, when I run the play and I feel like I run it to perfection, I hit a brick wall and things aren't going well, it's consistency. It's just continuing to run the play and looking at the proof of the things around me. As far as being a game changer in the kingdom, I'll go back to like I was saying, I consistently run the play. And whether it's working or seeming like I'm moving forward and stuff, I continue to be consistent and do what's right for God and continue to do those right things. And for me now, I look at those things around me like with Daniel. I look at those things. I look at the growth in the teams. I look at the growth in my peer group. I look at the growth in my wife. Sometimes growth can seem slow. It's seemingly stagnant sometimes, but I know that if I continue to know who I belong to, continue to believe in the right things, and continue to stick to my guns, continue to do those things, growth happens, and God will put me in an opportunity the same way He did with Daniel, where he can stick to his guns, do the right thing, and God will show up, and game changing will be a everyday thing.